Okay, this video kind of goes along with the other one where we had some words and we figured out the functions and the inverse by looking at what the operations were and inverted them verbally. So now we're going to look at how we find an inverse algebraically. So I'm going to use that same function that we were working with before. F of x equals 4 times quantity x plus 2 cubed minus 3, and we're going to find f inverse of x. Now we know what it should be, so you can try it if you want on your own. The key thing is, remember with inverses, we talked briefly about if things were inverse when we were looking at the odd and evens and stuff. So if we have AB, then the inverse, if we're swapping the input with the output, would be BA. So we're just going to swap our X and Y. It's technically maybe not the right term, but just that's what we do when we're trying to solve. And then we'll write it in the function notation when we're done. So we have here, instead of f of x, I'm going to actually write that as x. And instead of x here, I'm going to actually put a y. Instead of writing f of x in there, it's just too cumbersome. I'll change it back later. So we have a y plus 2 and then cubed minus 3. So I copy everything else the same, except I just swap up the x and the y. Then from there, I need to now solve for y. So I kind of swap and solve. And solve for y. Okay, so that's just a literal equation like we've done in the past. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. We divide both sides by 4 here. So we end up with x plus 3 over 4 equals y plus 2 cubed. Then we take the cube root of both sides. And that will undo this. So then we're left with cube root x plus 3 over 4 equals y plus 2. Last part is just to subtract that 2 off. And now here's where we want to then go back. This is f inverse of x, that y value right there. So we want to rewrite it as f inverse of x equals cube root x plus 3 over 4 minus 2. And that is our final answer. And if we were asked to verify, then we would go ahead and do the composition of f of x or f of f inverse of x, and then likewise f inverse of f of x to make sure that we get x. So that was just a quick little snippet to just give you one more example. I will do some more longer ones as well. So let's look at those on your worksheet. But we'll do that in a separate video so we can keep this sort of short and sweet, and you can go back to it if you needed to later. So have a great day.